on how to use Docker and how to build a Kubernetes cluster. So here I'm going to try and get Ubuntu 20.04 down on to Mac OS here. This is Mac OS Catalina I've been running. So I found a nice little cheat sheet here, and whoops, where did it go? Well, looks like that's not going to work very well. Anyway, it's saying Docker pull Ubuntu. It pulls down the latest image. Let's try that. See how that works out. I'm not running as root here, so I want to see if this will work. And here we go. Looks like it worked. Okay. Looks like we got it, but I'm not really sure what image that is. Let's try and run it now and see if we can actually use it. So the terminal should then change the container. Let's see how that works out. Okay, so wow, that's pretty quick. So now I'm root on that device, so that's pretty nice. Let's see if that'll work. Great. So I wonder if we can even use that on here. I want to put in MySQL. Let's see, they have an example of that here. MySQL server, that should work for me. And I want to put on Nginx. So this will work. The next I want Nginx. Let's see how this works. There it goes. Well, I hope this is working. It doesn't look too good, does it? Doesn't look like this thing works too well. So, did I get MySQL on here? I don't know. And I'm not sure what this is set to either. How about root? Nope. So it can't connect through a socket. That's not too fun. What about Nginx? Well, that's interesting. I don't see that ever before. Okay, number 12 for the US. Time zone, I am in Pacific, number 10. Okay, that worked. I wonder what our IP address is here. Does that work? No. Let's see, can I ping anything, I suppose? I probably have to install some network stuff. So this thing is really stripped down. It's got some stuff in it. Oh, there's the IP command. Okay, IP, yeah, that's there. IP address. So what am I connected at here? Looks like I have a IP6 address here. That's interesting. So I'm not sure what the default password is for MySQL on this thing. I wonder if ping 6 would work. Let's try that. Ping 6 in here. Ping 6. Nope. I think that's a valid command. Nope, I don't recall what that is. Let's take a look here. Ping, ping. Probably got to install some network thing here. Let's see, blah, 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 missing ping it in. Okay, install IP utils. I said network utils, so I was wrong. Install network utils. Get it on like that. Well, that didn't work at all either. Well, that's no fun. IP utils. There's always trouble with this stuff. I had a period on there. Okay, the period's out. Ping 6. No. Okay, well that works. It's pinging an IP6. Well, that's cool. All right, so MySQL. Wonder if I can get on here with no password. SQL minus user root. What about no password? Cannot connect. So obviously there's no socket on this thing. Oh, I probably got to start it. MySQL. Okay, that doesn't exist, which it should. Let's see what we can do about that. So these images come down from Docker, really stripped out, you know? It's kind of a bummer. Okay, but I guess they figure they don't want to have security problems on these things, so let's see, system CTL missing. So you can see how this goes. You just gotta kind of like hack things in here. Not found, blah, 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 blah. So are we running systemd here? Enable. No, that doesn't work. Okay, so it looks like we can install systemd. I'm going to assume it isn't there because it's probably not there. Let's assume it isn't here. I'm used to using systemd, so. Okay, it wasn't on here. Boy, it puts a lot of stuff on here, doesn't it? And let's see if it's even working now. System. Okay, not booted on init. So now if I reboot this thing, is it going to disappear or will it come back? And I know if I reboot it, that corrupts it, I think. Let's see what'll happen here. Here we go. Boom. There's no reboot command. I used to use system control to reboot this thing. Okay, how do we reboot without systemd? Let's take a look. Ubuntu. I think it's like 1604 on here. I don't know what it is. 2004 reboot. I think you want to use system control, but we don't have that working. You just say reboot. Well, that's easy enough. But will it come back? It doesn't find it. Not there. Okay, there is no reboot command on this thing. So how do you reboot a container? Okay, let's reboot this baby. Reboot, I could probably just bring it back with the same command. Reboot. container image, restart it, blah, 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 restart the thing, restart container, okay. So let's try that. If I do an exit, will it drop me into my original command prompt? It did. Let's just try a restart. Unknown flag name, okay. Docker, restart container. Docker restart container. It did give me that number. Doesn't know that. Okay, it gave me that. Don't think it did anything. How do I connect to it here? Yeah, that should have done it. I want to reconnect now. Let's see, Docker. Running containers, how do we do that? ls, Docker container, ls. Well, that sure is nice. I haven't used this in so long. It's coming back now a bit. That's really cool. Okay, so let's connect to that guy. I can see why people like this. Okay, Docker container connect. Container, how do we connect to it? That runs it, start it, stat, stop. Okay, there's no way to connect to this thing. Let's see, Docker connect. Anyway, this is aimed at beginners. I haven't done this in like 3 years, so it's not really in my head anymore. Docker connect to container from host. Docker attach. That's the word to use, Docker attach. Very nice. Docker attach this container here, which is going to be called what? My lamp server, which I don't like as a name, but that's what I got. Okay, boom. Okay, now we're back on the container. Does system control work? Hasn't been booted with that, so that's interesting. So I'm under the guise of whatever Docker uses to boot, so it's not like I'm in my normal world. And let's see, MySQL, no password. MySQL, default, root, password, Ubuntu, Docker file, Docker image. Let's see what that says, how to deploy it. Okay, yeah. Tech Republic, all I want is the frickin' password, people, or lack thereof. Database admin, okay. Docker logs. Okay, let's log on to it. -u root, what the heck is that? -p password. Revealed in the Docker logs. Revealed in my Docker logs. Yeah, I remember this now. I don't see any passwords in Docker logs. Can I remove it and reinstall it? Let's try that. Have to remove MySQL. Let's see if it takes it out. Apt get remove MySQL. Okay, and I don't recall the command to list packages. Since it isn't Red Hat, it probably won't work. Nope. All right, well, that's about all I can do right now with this thing. Not having great success with it. PS, what is the app grep? Let's see what's running on here. Boy, not much. What is running on here? Can you believe this thing? This thing is so thin, there's nothing running on it. It's crazy. Wow, this is nuts. It's so thin. I can see why people like this. It is so thin. All right, so my curiosity is piqued. I want to get my website running on this thing. Let's try this out. Mysql install Docker Ubuntu, deploying it with Docker, and that's from MySQL itself. Okay, medium.com, blah blah blah, Docker run, sudo Docker run name. What the heck? It looks like you connect over the network, but I don't even see it running here yet. So they've pulled something with it already installed, and they're deploying the container. So I sure like doing things myself. I don't like really a container with everything set up. That just seems counterintuitive. After logging in, okay, yeah, logging in. First of all, I don't see Docker running on here. How do we start it? So I may need to run or download some LAMP thing with Docker or with MySQL already on it, which just seems so bad. Okay, cd /c. I don't think NetWP works on here, does it? Okay, there it is right there. So this is somewhat familiar. Stop it. Okay, it looks like it had a PID. I didn't see the PID, did you? I mean, like, where's the PID for this thing? Unless it wasn't running. Cannot change directory to non-existent. Boy, that sure doesn't look good, does it? Starting database. So it is not doing so well here. So what you're seeing here is someone who hasn't run this in a long time. And it probably isn't very useful. Okay, well, look at that. So we do have a PID running now for MySQL D, which is what I want. So that's a pretty good thing. How much storage is on this thing anyway? How are things mounted? So I got 54 gigs on here. That's pretty good. It's enough. It's enough. That's enough. I'll take it. Okay, MySQL minus U root. What about no password? Bong. Look at that. We're in. All right, people. This is cool. So now I could pull in my database and I could use it. So that is really, 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 really cool. Maybe then we can do a database dump. And so I need the database dump command. And I wonder if that's on here too. And I forget what that command's called because I just don't remember things like that. So dump database, MySQL dump. Let's see, what's that called? MySQL dump database. What's that command called again? MySQL dump. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Which MySQL dump. Okay, well, of course it's there. It should be there because we need that. So what I want to do now is get my entire database of stock information that I want to get a hold of. I'm going to go to my MySQL server, which should work with a key. There it is. And let's go to root. And there. So to use MySQL dump, let's get an example of that command. And see how that works again. I think we just say the database name and it dumps it out. And we do like a like an out file kind of thing. MySQL dump, yeah, it's about that simple. MySQL dump, and I think we put in the database name. They're not giving a good example. Let's try that out. So now I'm on my little Raspberry. No, actually I'm on another Ubuntu system here. And let's run down here to, do I need to be anywhere? I probably don't. Okay, MySQL dump. Minus user root minus p, and I think I say the database, and I'm going to dump it. SQL, I think that'll work. And what about that? MySQL dump is not on here? Okay. That's interesting. I thought that'd be here. MySQL dump. How do I install that? I'm probably going to install MySQL client or something like that. Okay. As usual, say MySQL dump missing. It'll probably say something like install the client or something. MySQL dump missing. The command is missing. Okay, command not found. Stack Overflow. What the heck could we do without Stack Overflow, right? We'd be in some real trouble here. Blah, blah, blah. So this isn't very helpful. MySQL, let's see. I think it's right here. No. No. MySQL dump. apt-get. There we go. Okay, I had the answer right there. It's part of the package. Yeah. So that's what we need right there. That's what we need. MySQL client. Get install MySQL. I guess I've never tried to take DB off this thing before. That's why this wasn't around. And now we can rerun that command when this is done and get the database. apt-get, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's do this now. There's the command. Okay, am I spelling it wrong or what? MySQL dump. I did spell it wrong. Shame on me. Okay, this ought to dump it out. So now my database has come out. I can look at this thing here and you'll see it's full of data. Yep, so that's good. And that's called what? MySQL. Okay, so that's going to be saved as root, and that's not too good. Let's see, let's do a ch OWNJFall on this file here to make it usable, that I can grab it off with SCP. There we go. Now, let's see if I can grab that guy off of there. Probably can, right? So, do I have the concept of a home directory here? cd, do I have, let's see, apt get install mysql. Well, actually, it's here, the command's here, right? So some genius did put it on here. So all I need to do is get a hold of this thing. So I guess I'm root, so the root directory, there's my directory. Let's do SCP, and I put in the name of my computer. There's my internal network address. And let's get that file name off of there. EOD data SQL. And put it right there. Let's see if that'll work. And I can't use root, so I better use my login name, right? There we go. SCP not found. So you can see where building a container with this thing is a little challenging. SCP missing. SCP command. ubuntu docker. Okay, it's missing. Install it in a container. Stack Overflow. So you can see where this is a bit challenging. And we got to put the client in here, of course, right? So let's do that. Put the client on here. There's the client. A lot of stuff goes to that. I'm going to run my command again. There's my stuff right there. Let's put the password in here. Okay, didn't find that. Why didn't I find that? Well, anyway, where are we here? In my home directory, there's a file name right there. Let's spell it right. Whatever it's called, I don't care. I'll put it here. Okay, it's the wrong computer. That's why, people. Too many computers. That'll fix it. All right, there comes the file. Okay, so now I got my database on here in SQL form. And I think I can restore it now. I forget that command, of course. I think I just bring it in. MySQL minus user root minus p, and I think I say, I gotta make a database first, right? So let's go back into MySQL. SQL. Let's see, MySQL user is gonna be root. I think it just dumps in there. Poof. Yep, there it is. All right, let's do create. No, database create. No, it's create database. Okay, see here. This has to match what you are going to bring in. So that worked. Now we can try and suck this thing in. user root -p EODDATA and EODDATA.SQL go root password. Now wait a minute, I don't use a root password here. That's not going to work. Well, it worked. So no password, and it's sucking it in. It should take a little while here. So that's cool. So I have the stuff in the container now, I suppose. Let's see if it's in there. Let's see if we're in now. Don't want to do that. Oh, I'm in. Okay, so I'm in. Use. Okay. I think that's how you do it. No. Show tables. Let's see. Tables in EOD stocks. Well, looks like it works to me. It didn't show the date though. So that's kind of cool, right? Symbol and date. Let's see if that works. Still not showing my date. Boy, it's very simple. And there is a date in there. Date, symbol. Oh, I forgot the comma, didn't I? From stocks. That will give me a date. Yeah, that looks good. All right, well, this is stuff that I need to run my little website, find risingstocks.com, in a container on Kubernetes. So this is the beginning of how to do that. All right, so I have one Nginx in here too. And did that thing make it into here? Looks like it did. Well, let's start. And do I know my IP? I have an IP version 6. I guess I have an IP version 4. How can I find out my IP? I can look at my other computer and see what I logged in as. I can do a wget from here and see what I go in as. Is wget on here? No, it's not. So actually, I could go on this machine and log. Let's see what's on this machine for information on who got on here. Okay, tail -f-auth.log. That should tell me where I logged in from. And what does it say here? Pam, pam, pam. Nothing too interesting there. Let's see, how else can I find the IP in this thing? I could look at Comcast's router, which I have here. That's not so fun. The IP command. So I have some weird 172 here, which doesn't look right. That's an internal address. How do I find out what my outside address is? Well, as usual, we'll Google for it. We'll say get container docker get container IP inside container. Well, that's kind of good. Can I get my IP address inside the container? Docker inspect hostname not suitable. Okay, that's interesting. So it's giving me a 172. I don't think that's too good. Hostname minus I don't think that would work either. Well, let's get it from outside because I don't really care about inside. Get container IP. So probably need a Docker command to do this from the host. I think they had it right there actually. Docker inspect container ID to get all the container names and IP addresses from one command. Docker inspect container ID. Okay, so Docker how did I show my Dockers here? Blah blah blah. Oh, that's gone. Let's see. I think I was using root for Docker. Nope, I don't see any Docker commands here. Okay, Docker stats. Don't care about stats. Docker version, wait. I just want to see what's going on here. Docker images. I can see why this is popular. It's pretty nice, actually. Okay, there's my image right there. 29 hours ago. So that must have been when Ubuntu made it from some build they have. So Docker, blah, blah, blah. Docker inspect container ID. Okay, so Docker inspect container ID. Lost that window. Here we are. Docker inspect the ID. Image ID here. And gives me way too much stuff. I don't know. Let's just go like this. Docker inspect it. I want a 192. Let's do 192. Grep 192. It should be 192 something rather, right? So nope. So that's really interesting. It must be using some type of no, that's not real useful. So I can pull from this thing, but I can't really push from it. But I guess it's fine. I've attached to it. I've put in what I need to put into this thing. And I guess I can shut it down. I was wanting to do some configuration with Nginx. Let's see if it'll start at all. Okay, so, but then I want to see if I can even get to this thing. So I'm probably going to have to wait until I get this thing into a Kubernetes pod to be able to see the outside address of this thing, which is painful, but maybe that's good enough. So I almost want to get wget in this thing and see what its address is. Let's try that. Let's try that. So how do we install wget in this thing? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, this video is long and boring. I'm sorry. But maybe you're learning something. I am. just, I didn't pre-script the video. I'm just learning as I go here. So Ubuntu, Docker, wget. How to run wget inside. Install it. Blah, blah, blah. Apt-get install wget. Well, it's about that easy. Of course. Let's put wget on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my server here, which I've been serving here locally on a hardware machine, and this is my little website that I've been playing called Find Rising Stocks. And what we have here is Nginx running, and we have logs. So I can tell what IP address this thing accesses me with by looking at the access log. I can tell that, plus everybody else who tries to access me. So anyway, here's the access log on Nginx, and let's see what happens if I try to access it from Ubuntu here. Let's give it a shot here. So I'm going to try to access that thing now from Ubuntu. I'm going to say as root here, which I don't like using root, but I wonder if I can make an account for myself on here. Can I do this? Yep. Is there a home on here? I don't know if there's a home on here. How do you put a home in a container? You probably don't want to, but so I have slash on here and I have stuff like that. So if I go cd slash, okay, dir home, does exist cd home, nothing there, okay, dir okay, does that exist? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Why doesn't that work? Okay, that worked like it should. And there is a password here, which has me in as a user, so that's pretty cool. There's no VI on here, isn't that something? There's none of Vim. This thing is secure as heck. There's nothing on here for hackers to use. Okay, so that's nice. Anyway, there is wget, right? Yep. wget, from that will pull off my web server here on my local net, and it did. So what IP did I get here? Okay, so it's using the IP of my Mac. So this IP here is the one of the host, which is the Mac. So it's using networking, what's that called? Little routers use it all the time. When your network is, you gotta put pinholes in it, you gotta open ports. I forget what that terminology is called, but NAT, Network Address Translation. So this thing is using NAT, which is ugly, but that's how it goes. Okay, so I think this is as far as I can go with this thing. I could try to put content in here. Maybe I should try that. What do you think? So if I want to put in content in here, I use my JFall account. So now I'm a regular user. Let's go back to root for now. cd var www. That exists. I think I just make a the name of my account is called Stocks Rising. I think I made it underscore. Does it matter what I use? I think it was underscore. Let's change that thing to my ownership. There we go. Now I can access that as myself. Whoa, I just made a pretty big mistake here. I dumped out of root. Let's go back on this baby. So the container is now stopped. So if I go off a container, it stops. It's kind of bizarre. Learn as we go. Okay, start. It's kind of rude. Okay, it's up, I suppose. Attached to it. Wow, that is lightweight, just up and down like that. So, are things running on here? No, nothing's running again. So, you then want to say, how do I ensure that state on this thing goes? Is the system command on here? No. So how do I even start this stuff? Maybe kube control does that for me on this thing. Maybe I'm trying to think too much like a traditional DevOps when I got to think more in the terms of kube control. Okay, so I'm going to say that's enough for now. I have basic data on here. I could put my website on here, and maybe I'll do that. So I'll go to my user account. Okay, and I'm gonna go into here. And since I own this, I can put stuff in here. So now, actually, you know what? I also need Python 3 on this thing, you know that? Let's see if we can put that on this baby. So, I sure don't like the Python I get from apt-get. Let's see what I can do here. Apt-get Python install Python 3. Let's put that on here. So what's it saying here? Python is already there. I find that hard to believe. Okay, if Python's here then, that means that I have pip in here too. So Python 3 -m pip install. I want to put a Flask on. I use Flask web server for my site. Python 3 not found, because I didn't spell it right. Python 3. Okay, no module. Maybe it's called pip3. It's one or the other, right? No module. Is there a pip3 on here? Pip3, no. No, okay. So I don't have pip on here. I have Python, and let's see. Python 3. Does it work at all? Okay, it does work. So I got Python, and it works. Don't have pip. Install pip. Now, how does it know which one to put on here? Pip3, I would think. Okay, can't find pip3. What about pip? Okay, what about Googling for it? Because I can't figure it out. Google.com. Okay. Pip. Ubuntu. Ubuntu install pip3. It's probably called something stupid. Python 3 pip. That's dumb. Okay. Python 3-pip. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it worked. Wow. That puts in a pile of stuff. So much for my small image here, right? Look at all these libs it's putting on here. My gosh. Pollution. 224 megabytes just to put on this crap. It's putting on the C compilers. Yeah, well, it does use C, I know that. GCC. And there's C++ going in there. In case we gotta build some stuff. Okay, so that's it. Now I can say pip3 maybe. Let's see. Does pip exist outside of Python? Yes, it does. Pip3 install. And we're going to put in Flask. And what else do I need to think? Good. Looks like it did that. So we got Flask in here now. Let's see what else I need for my little website. Let's go in here to okay, so I know that inside these programs I have some import statements. So let's take a look at those. Stocks rising. This program I run first, which loads in my database into memory. Date time, PyMySQL. I need PyMySQL for sure. The rest of them are default with Python. Let's put that guy in there. Can't forget about that one. Okay, so that's in. Let's look at the main program that runs this site. And that's this one here, stocksrising.py. Okay, yeah, to be really cool, I gotta put this thing on. So I think this stuff, date time. Okay, so yeah, there's something else we need. So this container then is pretty much ready to go. All I need to do now is tar up this thing. So let's see, how do I tar it up? I want to tar it up from here. So let's do that. If I tar up stocks rising, I guess I could tar up the whole path like that. Tar minus C, cf/home jfall. And I guess I'm just gonna tar dot. How's that? Let's see if that'll go. Boom. Socket ignored, which it should be ignored. Okay, so I'm gonna trust then that this thing tarred my whole site up here. Tar my STF. Let's see if we got everything here. Got stuff I need and stuff I don't need. In fact, those dot files might, that crap there might kill me because I don't want that there. Oh well, I just tarred a running site, which probably wasn't smart, but that's how it goes. We can't have downtime, right? No outages. So let's bring this thing over here now. So let's see. I have my own directory. SUJFall, CD home jfall. So I don't have any files in here. SCP 192.168.168.1.185 /home jfall. let's put those here. Looks like it's working. Okay, the whole site came over, which is a good thing. And, wow, I need to put more stuff on this thing. Oh, it's a lot of work, people. Alright, so let's go here to var www.html. Making a container is like, you do got to work a lot hard on it to make a container. Okay, so nothing's in there. So now I can restore the whole website. Home jfall. That will restore it into my current directory here. So now all that stuff we need is in here, including all my static files and Python files. So would Flask run right now? What does it depend on? Nothing. It should run right now. So actually this program should actually run as it is. If I change this in here to this being executable, you aren't supposed to run this thing without, using Nginx or something, Unicorn or something in front of it. But if this thing will just run and give me like a prompt that the site is up, it's doing pretty well. The database is running. It requires database running. Let's see. So is the DB running? Probably not. Grep. And plus I don't have a database user. So my guess is it will fail. It won't be able to grab data from my database. So let's see what it will do. It probably is going to fail because I have to make a database user for it. And we're getting close. Let's see. Boom. It's probably gonna, okay, permission denied. Why is it denied? It's executable. Did the wrong one. Okay. I keep the old one here, which I don't use anymore. It was too slow. But I should delete it. I keep it there for posterity. Okay, this is probably gonna fail. It's not gonna come up. Yeah, so it can't connect to my database. The database isn't even up, I don't think. What if we tried? It's okay, it's on localhost, which is fine. That's good. What if we... Okay, I don't like what it did here. I want to go back to root. Okay, now I'm root. Okay, ps-ef. Database isn't up. QL. Start. So that's scary. I don't know why it does that, but let's see if we're up here. So I know I have a database here now running. It is running. I don't have the correct user in there for the database, but let's go back to my default user here. Let's see if this thing will come up now. It's probably now going to try and pull the table, and there's no user for it to log into. Let's see what it'll do now. Poof. Okay, yeah, so what happened now was it can't get on. There's no user for it, but that's a good sign. It looks like this thing is going to work in this container. So that's a reason for hand clapping and being very happy. All right, well, it's probably as far as I want to go. I do use a package in here called UWSGI, and let's see how we install that. I should put that in here too. UWSGI install. UWSGI install. I think this was something that was Python based, but I forget. Don't want to do source. Don't want to do that. Okay, yeah, look at that. So it is a pip install thing here. I forgot how that worked. Okay, pip install. I think it's pip install UWSGI. Let's try that. Okay, pip3 UWSGI, and there it goes. Looks like it's doing some building. So I'll need a init file to bring this thing up, I think. And this is one of the problems, I guess, with building a container. You pretty much got to do everything yourself. So I wonder if this thing put a file in there for me to start it. I doubt it. I doubt there's a file in here for it. And there is what? Hardware clock, Nginx. No, I don't see anything here. Not sure what this thing is. It's probably something to do with Docker. Okay, so there's no great way for me to start this thing, and I'll probably have to write my own start file for it to bring this thing up, which shouldn't be that bad, I guess. Okay, well, that's as far as I'm gonna go. I have this container built, and I guess when I log out, it shuts down. So now I'm logged out. And can I attach it again? Nope, stopped. Okay, well, that's as far as we go. This has been a long video. It's been sloppy. It's not been pre-rehearsed. If you went through the whole thing, I'm happy for you and I feel sorry for you, but hey, look at how much we figured out along the way, and you saw how to get my little Python website going, how to instantiate a database, how to bring up a container. Heck, we did the whole thing with Docker from start to finish. So now we got to get this thing into a Kubernetes cluster. So that'll be next. And I guess this took about an hour, so it wasn't so bad. All right, glad you came along for the ride. Catch you later.